Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me in Gaia's Temple. I want to begin by saying that we are on the unceded ancestral lands of the first peoples of Seattle, the Duwamish people, past and present. And it is with honor and gratitude that we acknowledge that we are on their land, and blessings to the Duwamish tribe. Thank you so much for meeting me here today. Spring has sprung, at least here in the Northwest, it certainly has. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous here. And it brings with it, of course, hope for a fruitful future. We are still continuing to meet virtually, because even though we can see the light at the end of the tunnel, it's at the end of the tunnel, and we are still in the tunnel, and we are erring on the side of caution and safety. And so we're going to continue to meet virtually until we are completely out of the tunnel, out of the woods, and out of all of those metaphors. So thank you for meeting me here today. When we take care of our bodies, then we know we are taking care of our minds and our hearts and our spirits and our souls. And so you have come to the right place if that's what you're seeking to do. Thank you so much. I'm Reverend Judith Laxer, and I'm honored that you've chosen to spend an hour or so of your time here with me and this loving community in Gaia's Temple. So I'll ask you next, if you haven't already, to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We get a few more subscriptions every month, but we really want to raise the subscription amount, amount of people who are subscribing to our channel, because then we raise in the algorithms, and then more and more people will get to see what it is that we're offering. So if you haven't done that, we'd be so grateful if you would. Thank you in advance for that. All right, so I'm going to introduce our board president, Karina Frenzel, who has some announcements for us.
Thank you, Reverend Judith, and good afternoon, everyone. I have a few announcements to share what's coming up at Gaia's Temple. So our next class in the Kitchen Witchery series is all about getting your jam on. Have you ever been intimidated by making jam and think it's too hard? The good news is that it actually isn't. So come join us as Reverend Judith shares how to turn garden goodness into sweet deliciousness. The class is going to be held next Saturday, April 17th from 2 to 4 on Zoom, and it's $20 to register. So to sign up, please go to our events page on our website at www.gaiastemple.org to reserve your spot. And summer is just around the corner, and our next Sabbath is Beltane, which will celebrate on Saturday, May 1st from 7 to 9. Due to COVID, we'll have to skip the maypole again this year, but at this fertile time of the year, we'll be providing elemental blessings as we offer prayers into the sacred Beltane fires. To register, it'll be $20, and you'll receive a link to the Zoom. So please, again, visit our website at www.gaiastemple.org to reserve your spot for this blessed holy holiday. Speaking of May and looking ahead, Mother's Day is just around the corner. And this year, as a spring fundraiser, our very own Stina Brown will be crafting handcrafted bouquets of fresh cut loveliness using locally sourced plant materials and repurposed containers. So we'll be selling these in 2 sizes, large for $30 and medium for $20. So we are now taking pre-orders. And so if you'd like to order yours, contact Reverend Judith, and her email is revjudith@gaiastemple.org. And just in case, if you're like me and you like to plan your calendar in advance, I wanted to share some of the amazing classes we have scheduled for May that you don't want to miss. We have our container gardening class as part of our Kitchen Witchery series with, again, our very own Stina Brown, where she'll demonstrate how to create beautiful container planters for beauty and magic. This class will be virtual on Zoom on Saturday, May 15th from 2 to 4 p.m. The class fee, again, is $20. And to register for your spot, visit our website and sign up on our events page, www.gaiastemple.org. And then as part of our next Intentional Creativity Workshop series, we have another class going to be held, facilitated by our priestess/artist, Maggie Yal Wilson, on May 22nd from 2 to 4. The class fee, again, is $20. For this class, no art experience is necessary, and Maggie will lead all of us as we identify what gifts we carry within us and what gifts we have to share with the world. And from there, we'll create our own unique medicine basket of gifts using whatever art materials we have on hand. So please feel free to check us out. All of that information is on our events page on our website, www.gaiastemple.org. All right, I'm handing it back to you, Judith.
Thank you, Karina. And before I go on, one thing I wanted to say, because I don't think Karina mentioned the date for the cut flower sale. That's going to happen the Sunday before Mother's Day, so May 2nd. So Beltane is on May 1st, and then May 2nd is when we're selling these. And we're going to be selling them out of the parking lot of my Green Lake office, and that address is also on the website. But I have to show you, because yesterday Stina dropped off an example of one of these cut flowers. I mean, look at this thing. It's just magnificent. And these are, she did say that she bought the tulips, but the rest were from her garden and gardens nearby that her neighbors are all, just so much of it is locally sourced. Each one is going to be unique and different, and it's just stunning. So I wanted to show that to you so that you know what the good stuff is. And go ahead and please feel free to place your orders now. Okay, thanks for those announcements, Karina. Now we're going to sing a song, and that is going to help get the energy going as we move away from the business aspect of this ministry and into the spiritual goodness. So this song my goodness, I learned this song so many years ago. And it wasn't until very recently that I found out that it actually has a Navajo origin. And I don't know if the lyrics were the same or just the tune, but anyway, it's called Ancient Mother. And the lyrics are, and many of you know the song because we've sung it before, but it's been a while since we have sung it. It goes, Ancient Mother, I hear you calling. Ancient Mother, I hear your song. Ancient Mother, I feel your laughter. Ancient Mother, I dry your tears. So I'm going to sing it a few times through. Join in when you catch on, and it goes like this. Ancient Mother, I hear you calling. Ancient Mother, I hear your song. I hear your song. Ancient Mother, I feel your laughter. Ancient Mother, I dry your tears. Ancient Mother, I hear you calling. Ancient Mother, I hear your song. Ancient Mother, I feel your laughter. Ancient Mother, I dry your tears. Ancient Mother, I hear you calling. Ancient Mother, I hear your song. Ancient Mother, I feel your laughter. Ancient Mother, I dry your tears. One more. Ancient Mother, I hear you calling. Ancient Mother, I hear your song. Ancient Mother, I feel your laughter. Ancient Mother, I dry your tears. So let's continue to create our sacred space. If you would, wherever you are seated, close your eyes, go within. Let's take a nice deep breath together. Let's do that again a little more slowly. Fill your lungs all the way to capacity. And when you exhale, empty them until there is nothing left. Before you take your next deep breath. And then take a moment and call all the pieces and parts of you home. So any part of you that's distracted in your future, in your past, anywhere else other than this moment, and gently invite all of you to come home so that you can be here now. And from that place of presence, take another deep breath. And as you exhale, begin to ground yourself to Mother Earth by imagining a line of energy that extends from the base of your spine, reaching downward, down through the chair or the seat that you are in, down through the floor of the building that you are in, or if you're outdoors, right down into Mother Earth. And notice how she opens to receive your energy as you send your taproot down, deep and deeper and even more deeply. Down past the soil and the rocks and the stones and the bones and the critters, until you reach the level that you need to be at to feel yourself completely grounded and held by her. And from that place, send out smaller little branches that reach out and take hold. Good. Imagine now that those rootlets and your main taproot become porous and start to drink the earth energy up into them, and keep drawing her up through your roots, knowing that what we drink up is her sustenance and her nourishment and her strength and her beauty, and most of all, her unconditional love. That's what we are drawing up from the earth. Let that energy transfer over into your spine and keep drawing it up your spinal column until she arrives in your heart. And when she does, breathe deeply once more to make more room for her. Leaving the earth energy there, look to the heavens and find the moon. And she is at the last slip of her darkness, the crone moon waning away. She's in Aries today, that spark of light, that spark of wisdom of the crone. And imagine that the last of the silvery moon of this lunation pours down from the heavens, enters into your crown, and draw her all the way down to your heart as well. Feel as she enters inside of you. Feel the spark of wisdom inside of you. And when she arrives in your heart, once more, breathe deeply. Now the earth and the moon are there in your heart. Once more, look to the heavens and find the sun, and he too is in Aries. So imagine that the golden light of that hot, sparkling sun pours down radiant and warming and beautiful. Imagine that gorgeous golden light pouring down into you, and draw him down to your heart, and then once more breathe deeply. Now, in a moment, I'm going to ask us to take a deep collective breath together one more time. And this time, when we exhale, we will use our exhalation to push these three cosmic energies of earth, moon, and sun from our heart straight forward outside of our bodies, and imagine it circling all around us. That will be on the first exhale. And then on the second one, we'll imagine the energy rippling out to all of us here in this circle, including all of us who are watching over Zoom, who are watching over YouTube, and even those who tune in later. So it will be multidimensional, going beyond time and space. And so here we go, deep breath. And out it goes. Surround yourself with this energy first. Feel it all around you. And then another deep breath. And out it goes beyond you, including everyone. Imagine it rippling out like we've just thrown a stone into a still pond, and it ripples out to reach and include all of us. In this way, we say we have stepped between the worlds. What is between the worlds is not affected by the worlds, but can heal and transform. And so we say, our circle is cast in perfect love and perfect trust. Blessed be. And now I'd like to introduce Oriel Lighton, who's going to lead us in singing in the elements.
Okay. Can you hear me, everyone? Can you hear me? Judith?
Yes. Yes, we can hear you.
You can. Okay, good. Great. To the earth in the north. Spirits of the earth, carry me. Spirits of the earth, carry me home. Spirits of the earth, carry me home to my heart. To the air in the east. Spirits of the air, carry me. Spirits of the air, carry me home. Spirits of the air, carry me home to my heart. To the fire in the south. Spirits of the fire, carry me. Spirits of the fire, carry me home. Home to my heart. To the water in the west. Spirits of the water, carry me. Spirits of the water, carry me home. Spirits of the water, carry me home to my heart. And to spirits in the center, the union. Spirits of the center, carry me. Spirits of the center, carry me home. Spirits of the center, carry me home to my heart.
Thank you so much, Oriel. And now to Noemi to read the invocation for us.
Blessed Sarasvati, goddess of bountiful gifts, be with us. Elegant goddess of discernment, be with us. You gift us with wisdom and beauty, be with us. We invoke your holy presence, be with us. We sing your praises, Sarasvati, be with us. Today we seek to raise our consciousness, be with us. To contemplate what is meant by the highest good of all, be with us. To return to civility and grace, be with us. We gather on this fine day to be in your presence, be with us. Blessed be.
Would be. Thank you so much, Oriel and Noemi. Oriel, I just have to say, you went to call in the air and all of a sudden your hair started blowing in the wind. It was like, good magic, girl. Very good. Excellent. That's the way to invoke the air, I think. So before I jump into the body of this service today, I want to tell you that if you didn't already see it, that we have Gina Salah singing with us today, for us today. And I just want to tell you a little bit about her and about her work before we get into the service, as I said. So Gina Salah has been chanting since early childhood, in her early childhood ashram years. And her repertoire spans 23 languages, and performance credits include Cirque du Soleil, the United Nations, and many other festivals and more. With warmth, humor, and devotion to this earth and the divine in all, she offers Indian raga singing, sound tantra, Sanskrit mantra refinement, cross-cultural songs from around the world, private sessions, and voice empowerment in classes in her year-long Awakening Voice Power of Love sound schools. So you want to check out her work and jump on that beautiful bandwagon at www.ginasalah.com. So that's who's going to be gracing us with some music today. All right. So today I want to talk about the connection between our minds and our spirits, because our thoughts and our beliefs go hand in hand. And we might think that our spiritual understanding comes from our spirits and comes from our souls, and maybe it does. Perhaps it does. It certainly resides there as well, but it also happens in our minds, because if we don't believe, for example, that the earth is alive, if we don't think that the earth is alive, we are not going to believe that the earth is alive. And if we don't believe that the earth is alive, we are not going to think of her as alive. And so our thoughts and our spirits are very tightly connected, because what we think and believe manifests, or what we think manifests as our belief system. So it's important for us to become more discerning, to monitor our thoughts, to become conscious of not only what we're thinking, but how we're thinking, to become more conscious that we are conscious. That is an important thing, especially in these times of so much information. We get a barrage of information from so many sources all the time, and it's hard to know what to believe. And it's just important for us to raise our level of consciousness and to begin to really monitor what we're taking in as truth and be able to discern for ourselves. So today I wanted to talk about the goddess Sarasvati, the Hindu goddess of learning, wisdom, music, and aesthetics. My goodness, what a bounty of gifts she offers us. So what I want to tell you about her comes from the World History Encyclopedia, who tells us that Sarasvati, her name, means elegant, flowing, and watery. And this is because she is an emanation, and an emanation is something that comes from a source, of the Sarasvati River, which flows from the Himalayas. You know, some people say Himalayas, and I looked it up. What's the right way? And it's kind of tomato. Some people say Himalayas, some people say Himalayas. I'd always said Himalayas, so I should have asked Gina what she says. But anyway, that river flows from the Himalayas, just as the Ganges does. And it is a sacred source of purification and fertility and good fortune to all who bathe in that river. So like the Ganges, that river developed into a personified deity. And the Hindu goddesses and gods are also sourced in nature, often as elemental powers. So Sarasvati is always seen with 4 arms, as most Hindu gods and goddesses are. And in each one of those arms, she is holding a symbolic object. In the left hands, she is carrying a palm leaf manuscript. She was the inventor of Sanskrit, right? She is the goddess of learning and wisdom. She gives us speech and language, and Sanskrit was her language. And she is called the mother of the sacred texts called the Vedas. In the other left hand, she is calling a ritual water vessel, which I think speaks to her emanation from the river. In her upper right hand, she is holding a white lotus flower, which is a symbol of the divine, or in humans, it is a symbol of immortality. I just thought that was an interesting distinction. Of course, there's a distinction between humans and the divine, but that lotus represents whatever is immortal in us as humans. That set me off for a couple of hours thinking about human immortality and the distinction between that and the divine. And then in her lower right hand, typically, she is performing the Varada Mudra. I hope I'm saying that right, which is the traditional gift-giving gesture of Hinduism. And commonly, she is also, or in other depictions, she is holding the veena, which is the Hindu classical music instrument, which speaks to the gift of her music to humanity. My goodness, what a gift, right? I can't imagine life without music. I just can't imagine it. Her gifts flow like the river. And when honorably utilized, they elevate us for a broader perspective of the world. Because with her gifts, we are always learning, and that information, hopefully, we can turn into wisdom when it is applied correctly, and that brings a civility to life. Her beauty, music and aesthetics, what magnificent gifts there are. beauty and music. There can be no greater gifts than beauty and music, I don't think. So now I'm going to introduce Gina, who's going to lead us in a chant to the goddess of wisdom, music, arts, creativity. So take it away, Gina.
Thank you. Beautiful. Jai Ma Sarasvati. For now, my friends, just let your body move. She rides a swan, ever pure no matter the quality of water, like a lotus also. So just as we get in and flow, and then the mantra. Maybe sing that with me. It's okay if your voice gravels or goes breathy. Divine Beautiful. Mantra, manas, mind, dra, tool for the mind. To focus our mind on these divine qualities, attributes, characteristics that Judith so beautifully introduced. Om Aing, can you say that? Om Aing, Sarasvatyai, Sarasvatyai, Namaha, Namaha. And just know that as we open into mantra, even if you maybe don't say it exactly as I do for now, do your best. We're tuning our mind to the frequency of the gifts of this aspect. Om Aing, Om Aing, Sarasvatyai, Sarasvatyai, Namaha, Namaha. Yeah, good. It's in your chat now too. Thank you. So let yourself flow like Sarasvati riding the swan or Sarasvati singing. You all have creativity and wisdom and intelligence. She lives in each of us. Om Aing, Om Aing, Sarasvatyai Namaha. Om Aing, Om Aing, Sarasvatyai Namaha. Om Aing, Sarasvatyai Namaha. Om Aing, Sarasvatyai Namaha. Om Aing, Sarasvatyai Namaha. Again. Om Aing, Sarasvatyai Namaha. Sarasvatyai Namaha. Om Aing, Sarasvatyai Namaha. Om Aing, Sarasvatyai Namaha. And if you like, using the mind that is being so celebrated today in this beautiful service, focus your mind. Where is a place in your life that you can celebrate creativity, music, wisdom that you read in books, or intelligence. Maybe it's how you dressed today. Maybe it's the way you were able to discern. And the words are Om Mata, Sarasvati, Sarasvati, Jai Jai Ma, victory. Yes, and may it grow, this presence, may my awareness of this Shakti, this power grow. I celebrate. Om Mata Sarasvati, Jai Jai Ma. 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 Sarasvati, Jai Jai Ma. Sarasvati, Jai Jai Ma. Sarasvati, Jai Jai Ma. Om Mata, Om Ai, Sarasvati, Jai Jai Ma. Om Shri Mata Devi Ki Jai.
Thank you, Gina.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Ooh, feel her love all around. So beautiful. Thank you so much. So I want to tell a little story, a little origin story. Well, not an origin story, but an ancient story about this goddess. And you know me, I like to tell these stories and I like to pick them apart and illuminate a few things about this story. So in Hindu mythology, Sarasvati is the wife of the great god Brahma. And Brahma is one of the three main gods of the Hindu religion. Brahma, who is the creator, Vishnu, who is the preserver, and Shiva, who is the destroyer. And so according to many traditions, Sarasvati was the wife of Vishnu. But Vishnu was very busy with other wives, or he already had his hands full with two other wives. And so he gave her to Brahma instead. And although one of the most important Hindu gods, Brahma is rarely actively worshipped, although in some places in Southeast Asia, he is worshipped, but mostly he isn't. Mostly Vishnu and Shiva are the ones who are worshipped. And in this mythology, this is explained as a result of a curse from Sarasvati. The curse was actually brought about through a misunderstanding, aren't they all? So this is how this misunderstanding came about. One day, when awaiting his wife to begin an important religious ceremony, and so unable to start the ritual punctually, Brahma asked the god's advice. She's not here. She's not here. She should be here and she's not. What do I do? And they responded by creating a new wife for him, Gayatri. And so the ceremony could go ahead at the precise time. However, when Sarasvati does arrive, she is not too happy to see her husband with another woman, a new wife. And so she cursed Brahma never to be worshipped by humanity. That was her curse that she cursed him with. So that's the story, essentially. So I want to break the story down. Now, I know this isn't the only story in this mythology, but when I was doing research on this goddess, this was the one that came up. This was the first one that came up. And, I'm always looking through my modern day feminist eyes, of course, and I can't help but see that even though these texts are, ancient, we see how they are there as constructs to uphold patriarchy. So right away, we find that what happens is she's given to Brahma. So she is married to Vishnu, but she is given to Brahma. So right there, my little hackles come up like, wait a minute. She wasn't upset that she wasn't getting the proper attention from Vishnu, and so she left him. She didn't fall in love with Brahma and left Vishnu. No, Vishnu was too busy, and so he gave her away. So here she does not have her own sovereignty. She is given away. Right off the bat, that's how this story begins. She's given away. Then, to add insult to injury, he doesn't wait for her to start this ceremony. Right? He doesn't wait for her. She's late, but he doesn't wait for her. And he asks what to do about it. And then the gods create a new wife for him instead. So the fact that she's late to a ceremony means she's out. And a new wife is created instead. And I'm sure that in addition to when she arrives and sees him with a new wife, in addition to not liking that part, this probably re-traumatized her from her first marriage. So in her first marriage, she was seen as an extra, not enough time, sorry, too busy with other people. So here I'm going to just give you away. And then the person she gets given away to doesn't have the grace to wait for her for a ceremony. And then she is replaced by another goddess. Now, I've been thinking about this. I'm thinking, okay, so why was she late? Why was she late to this auspicious ceremony that seemed to had to happen punctually, had to be happen at a certain time? And why was she late? And so I couldn't help but think that, Sarasvati is the goddess of beauty and aesthetics. Sometimes it takes a little while to get yourself ready for something that is important, because you want to look good and you're going to bring beauty to the situation. So she curses him. She gives him an ego hit. Okay, so you can't wait for me. No one's going to worship you, which is a little retaliatory and not all that nice either. But what I don't understand is that not only is she not sovereign, but she doesn't have her own power. But then what often happens when women use whatever power they have is that they are then viewed as monsters, right? This was a monstrous thing. Here, Brahma is part of the three great triumvirate of gods, and yet he's the only one who gets a curse. Now, if this ceremony had to happen at a particular time, like let's say this ceremony had to begin when the moon was in the 7th house and Jupiter was aligned with Mars, so Venus would rule the planets and love would rule the stars. Let's say it had to happen at that time and she was late. Well, then she should have arrived apologizing for being late. Maybe she should have used her magic powers to say, please wait for me, I'm going to be late. Or at the very worst, she would arrive and she would have missed the ceremony, or she would have been late to the ceremony. So that could have been something that she did. She could have been told this ceremony begins at this time, so choose your lipstick ahead of time so that you're there on time. And so it just seems to me that it says this was a misunderstanding, that this service, that this was a whole misunderstanding, which ought to offer some grace because of how actions impact, right? So if it's a misunderstanding, it would be one thing if she said, I'm going to make him wait. I'm going to make all of them wait because I'm so vain and I need my time to get beautiful. I mean, that could have been something that was going on, but it says it was a misunderstanding. Now, if there is a misunderstanding, there should be some grace offered about that. The goddess is late. Maybe we should go see where she is. Maybe we should make sure she's okay. Maybe that might have been the way to go about understanding this or correcting this misunderstanding. That would have been a nice way to go about it. Because our actions have an impact. And what we are left to understand in this story is that she was not worth waiting for. And as we know, hell hath no fury as a woman scorned, and rightly so. So following the thread here of how our actions have impact, I want to speak about the need for civility and the need for the return of civility in our world. So civics is the study of the rights and obligations of citizens in society. The term derives from the Latin word civicus, meaning relating to a citizen. And the term relates to the behavior affecting other citizens, particularly in the context of urban development or a city. And so we see that city, citizen, civics, civility, all of these are from the same root. Civics used to be taught in school. There used to be classes on civics where we learned how to be good citizens by the awareness of how our behaviors affect others in our society. I think we need to bring civics back into school because I think we need to learn that again. We need to remember how important it is to be civil in our society and for us to really focus on not just our rights, but our obligations as part of a society. There are obligations inherent in that. Agreements are made in a society, and our obligations to abide by them must be honored for the highest good of all. So like for one example, one of my pet peeves, and I know this is going to seem very mundane, but just as an example, is when people don't use their turn signals when they're driving. They just think, oh, I'm going to make a left here, I'm going to make a right here. Too bad if the car behind me doesn't know and has to slam on their brakes because I'm slowing down to make a turn without letting them know. Or too bad if the person waiting at the stop sign doesn't know that I'm making a left when I could have been going straight, or whatever that is. Why? We all know, we all learn when we get our driver's license to use the signals, to let others around us know we're making a left or we're making a right. And yet now it is more prevalent than not that people don't use their signals. So this is like a manifestation of how we are not participating in a society and upholding the agreements that in a way we are obliged to in order for things to remain civil. That's my little public service announcement about please use your signals when you're driving. You know, it made me think about when I was really thinking about the word civil and civility, and it made me think about, it was called the Civil War. Why was it called the Civil War? I mean, we all know there's nothing civil about war. But in doing my research, I found that it was called the Civil War because it was trying to keep the society intact, one society, one country. And so it was breaking up what was civil, which is an intact society. So without this awareness of how our actions impact others, we can easily become selfish and self-focused and self-centered, believing that our needs matter more or first or more than anyone else's. Now, our basic needs do need to be met, of course they do. But at whose expense? At whose expense or at what expense are our needs being met? And at what discerning line do we look at the need being met and then just our desire for more? And that is something that has really gone wonky in our Western world, I believe. So it reminds me of the scene. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie It's a Wonderful Life. I adore that movie. I know some people say, oh, it's so sappy, but it's just a magnificent movie. I think the story is great. The morals that are in there and the lessons that are taught in that story is just so beautiful. And it reminds me of the scene right after George Bailey's father dies, and they are sitting in the office at the Bailey's Building and Loan Company, and Mr. Potter, the richest man in town and the greediest man in town, is sitting at the head of the table, and the board of directors are all around him, and they're discussing the future of the Bailey Building and Loan Company. And Potter calls George's father a starry-eyed dreamer, he wasn't a good businessman, he never did anything right. And George replies that yes, his father was a dreamer and he never really thought of himself. And then he turns to Potter and he says, but he did help a few of your people get out of your slums, Mr. Potter. And then he turns to the rest of the board of directors and he said, and what's wrong with that? Doesn't that make them better citizens? And then he says, doesn't that make them better customers? Which I think making better customers is not to good old capitalism. But essentially what he's saying is when people's needs are met, they are better citizens and everyone prospers and everyone does better. It is just a healthier society when everyone's needs are met. And if you try to keep something down, if you try to disparage something or cage something or suppress something, it's going to fight back with whatever it has to get itself free, to feel that it has some power over its own life. If you're going to keep something caged up so that you have power over it, the hand that can go through those bars is going to grow claws. And it's going to fight for everything that it can. And then we say that there's something bad and wrong about it because it's trying to claw its way out. Instead of saying, well, of course it's trying to claw its way out. It's trying to get some equanimity here. You know, not all that long ago, in the last administration of this country, there was a meme going around on social media that said, I don't know how to tell you that you're supposed to care about people. And so that's what Sarasvati's wisdom does for us. It lifts us up to look at the bigger picture beyond just ourselves, that the resources that we have when they're shared, when everyone's needs are met, we just live in a happier society. George is asking the board of directors of the Bailey Building and Loan to think more critically and less selfishly. So this is where our critical thinking comes into play. And so I want to read to you from this little piece of paper that I have here that's called the Ultimate Cheat Sheet for Critical Thinking. And when I'm finished, Mari's going to put the resource for it in the chat room so you can find it for yourself and use it thereafter. It's from the Global Digital Citizen Foundation. It's called the Ultimate Cheat Sheet for Critical Thinking. It says, hey, want to exercise critical thinking skills? Ask these questions whenever you discover or discuss new information. These are broad and versatile questions that have limitless applications. And essentially what it says is to start with those basics that we do when we're gathering all information, which are who, what, where, when, and why. And this one also adds on how. So I'm just going to read all of these questions to us so that we can see how we should be examining the world around us, and particularly information as it comes in, so that we can hone our critical thinking skills and either not be so gullible or not get stuck in old ways of thinking that actually keep our society, the ills of our society, perpetuating. So the first is under the heading of who, and we ask these questions about any new information that's coming in. Who benefits from this? Who is this harmful to? Who makes decisions about this, and who is most directly affected? Who have you also heard discuss this? Who would be the best person to consult? Who will be the key people in this, and who deserves recognition in this? So that's all about the who. Then the what. What are the strengths and weaknesses of this issue we're looking at? What is another perspective or another alternative? What would be a counter argument to this information? What is the best and worst case scenario, or the most or least important? What can we do to make a positive change? And what is getting in the way of our actions? Those are all the what questions we can ask. Then the where. Where do we see this in the real world, right? Like we're talking about the ideas, but where do we actually see this happen out there in the real world? Where are there similar concepts and situations? Where is there the most need for this? Where in the world would this be a problem? Where can we get more information? Where do we go to for help with this? Where will this idea take us? And where are the ideas for improvement? Those are the where questions. Then the when. And when, I think, is really important because we can have an idea about something, but if we force it to happen too soon, or if we wait too long, we can really miss the mark. So I think these are crucial questions. When is this acceptable or unacceptable? When would this benefit our society? When would this cause a problem? A great idea can cause a problem if it's introduced too soon or too late. When is the best time to take the action? When will we know we've succeeded? When has this played out in our past history? And we learn from history, finally. When can we expect this to change? When should we ask for help with this? Those are the when questions. Then the why. Why is this a problem or a challenge? Why is it relevant to me or to others? Why is this the best or worst scenario? Why are people influenced by this? Why should people know about this? Why has it been this way for so long? Oh my goodness. Do I ask myself that question all the time? Why has it been like this for so long? Why have we allowed this to happen? Why is there a need for this today? Those are the why questions. And then finally we get to the how. How? How is this similar to fill in the blank? So now we're starting to compare. How does this disrupt things? How do we know the truth about this? Oh, big one. How do we know the truth about this? Now that doesn't mean because we don't know the truth that it's automatically a lie, but critical thinking will ask us to find where it is sourced, to see if it's true, particularly before we start spreading the information. How will we approach this safely? How does this benefit us or others? How does it harm us or others? How do we see this in the future? And how can we change this for the good? Now that's a lot of questions to be asking. And I know that with every new piece of information, we can't ask every single question or we will never get on with our lives. But just to give you an idea about how to use critical thinking skills. And if all we ever do is say, who does this impact? Is it true? Is this the right time to implement this information? And how are we going to do it so that it is for the highest good of all? That alone is going to raise our consciousness, and it's going to elevate our thinking from just and only how it affects me. How does it only affect me? And so much in our culture and society over this last decade and more has been only about taking care of the self. Now, I realize, and I hope that I am preaching to the choir here, and most of us here do not operate that way, but we are also living in a fearful time, and fear-mongering is like the way of it, or has been the way of it for a fair amount of time. And when we get into that fearful place, we just want to take care of ourselves. We want to hole up and take care of ourselves. I think the pandemic also kind of added that layer in there, where we don't want to see anybody. We might want to see people, but we're afraid to go out there with good reason. And so we've been isolated. And so what we're used to doing out there in the world, we are not doing so much anymore. And that can make us fearful. And it can turn our focus. When we're not engaged socially, we are very self-focused. And like I said, having our needs met is important, and we should absolutely get our needs met. And we should make sure that it's not only our needs that are being met, and to be discerning about when is our needs actually met. Like at the beginning, how much toilet paper did you really need to have in your household? And maybe there was another household that could have gotten that last bundle at Costco, and we didn't need to buy them all up. That sort of thing. I keep bringing it to mundane things like toilet paper and signals, but that's how it plays out in our society. And these are the ways that we demonstrate that other people matter as well. And that if we want to move forward healthily as a society, it has to be all of us. It can't just be for the privileged few, or it can't just be for whatever we can get our hands on. So when everyone's needs are met, we live in a happier, healthier, and safer world. So perhaps we will all sharpen and employ our critical thinking skills when we learn something new, or even with something that we already know or think that we know. And in this way, we will become better citizens, and we will become more civil. And I think the return of civility to our world is very timely. And it can only happen with each one of us deciding that that is how we are going to abide in the world. And hopefully more and more of us will do it. And the more we model it, the more we can return or bring about a civility that we're all really longing for. So that's what I mean every time I say for the highest good of all. It doesn't mean, we are included in that all, right? All means all, not just us, all, the highest good of all. There is a peace and a grace and a relief, really, when we feel and sense and witness that all beings are happy. There is like a primal relief to that. And what a beautiful thing that is. Why wouldn't we want to create that in our world? Can't think of one good reason, my friends. So I'm going to turn it over to Gina again, who has another song for us that she will sing, and there are parts of it that we will sing also. So take it away, Gina.
Thank you. The Sanskrit mantra Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu in English is this. May all beings everywhere be happy. May you be happy and free. Sing with me. May all beings everywhere be happy. May we all be happy and free. Yeah, again. May all beings everywhere be happy, happy and free. More time. May all beings everywhere be happy. May we all be happy and free. And this just today. We can be civil and use the mind. It's a gift of the divine. It's okay to think and discern. We continue to live and learn. Heart, body, and mind. All of us can shine. You want to sing that with me? We can be civil and use our mind. It's a gift of the divine. We can be civil and use our mind. It's a gift of the divine. It's okay to think and discern. We continue to live and learn. We can. It's okay to think and discern. We continue to live and learn. Heart, body, and mind. All of us can shine. Yeah, heart, body, and mind. All of us can shine. May all beings everywhere be happy. We can be happy and free. May all beings everywhere. Be happy, happy and free. One more time. May all beings everywhere be happy, happy and free. And let's just cast blessings around, like from that rippling pond, as the directions were called so beautifully. Send the blessings. What if we just approach everything with those critical thinking thoughts like Judith brought in, and just, wow, they deserve to be happy. So one more time. We can be civil and use our mind. It's a gift of the divine. It's okay to think and discern. We continue to live and learn. Heart, body, and mind. All of us can shine. Heart, body, and mind. All of us can shine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gina. So beautiful. Ah, so beautiful. You made me cry a little bit. So my friends, as the season matures from late spring to early summer, may we also mature and bloom in thoughtfulness. May Sarasvati's gifts of learning and wisdom be ours. May we raise our consciousness using our critical thinking skills and create more civility. May our society be uplifted by the attention we pay to the impact on others. And may that upliftment be for the highest good of all. Blessed be. So before we pass the love offering, we will be passing love offering baskets today, but before we talk about our love offering, I want to just spend a moment in silence in a memorial for one of our congregants whose name is Miala Datura. And Miala became a member of Gaia's Temple several years ago, and she passed away in January of this year. She had a sudden stroke and it took her. And just recently, she was an avid gardener, and so we had that in common. And she loved flowers and had a garden at her home that was just extraordinary with all of these flowers. And just recently, her friends had people come over and dig up flowers from her garden. And I received this beautiful bunch of daylilies that is now growing in my garden. And so she'll be growing there. It just feels beautiful to have a piece of her here at my home. And then also recently I received a letter from her estate that she has bequeathed Gaia's Temple from part of her estate. So her legacy continues to live on. And this is an example of her sweetness and her generous and beautiful spirit. So I want to spend a moment in silence honoring Miala Datura. And so go ahead, Mari, and put that up on the screen. There she is. And we'll just take a moment to honor her beautiful life. Rest in peace and blessed be. Okay, thank you, Mari. Thank you. So, as I said, usually at this time we pass the baskets. If we were together in person, Gaia's Temple, for your donations, we can't do that virtually, of course, but we do ask at this time that you make a donation to Gaia's Temple so that you can keep us going. Thank you to everyone who pledged. Thank you to everyone who honors their pledge. Thank you to everyone who didn't pledge but still donates in an ongoing way. Your resources and your generosity are so appreciated. You can't begin to know. So thank you so much for that. And also to let you know that Gaia's Temple as an organization ties to other nonprofit organizations that are in alignment with our mission and vision and values. And in this way, we stay in Sarasvati's flow and everyone gets to benefit. And today we are tithing to the PCC Farmland Trust, which secures, preserves, and stewards threatened new farmland in the Northwest to ensure that local farmers use sustainable and organic methods. So know that the money that you donate today, if you donate money today, 10% of those monies that we receive on this day today will go to the PCC Farmland Trust. So thank you in advance for your donations, and thank you so much for your beautiful presence in Gaia's Temple. So we always sing a little bit when we pass the baskets so that we can express our gratitude. So Maury, go ahead and put up our Thank You, Mother Earth, and we'll just sing it through a couple of times. Here we go. Thank you, Mother Earth, for your gifts of love today. Thank you, Mother Earth. We are following your way. Thank you, Mother Earth, for your gifts of love today. Thank you, Mother Earth. We are following your way. Great. So just a reminder about our Beltane celebration, which is happening on the 1st of May, as Karina already told us. And what we're going to be doing is offering our prayers into the sacred fire. So if you have a prayer, then please show up. We'll be taking them in the chat room and then offering sacred herbs to the fire for each individual prayer. But even if you can't attend to the ceremony, if you would like to have your prayer given to the sacred fire, then you can email me and let me know, and you can always reach me through the Gaia's Temple website. There's a contact page there and I receive all the emails. So just to let you know that. And also after we close our service today, we're going to be staying on for a little bit of fellowship, and I hope you will stay for that too, so we can chat it up and share some community. And next month, our service is right on Mother's Day. So we hope that you'll join us on May 9th for our special Mother's Day service. What a special place to be for Mother's Day, Gaia's Temple. Okay, so.
Reverend Judith?
Yes.
This is Karina. Are we going to be doing community prayers today?
I totally skipped the community prayers, didn't I? Thank you for your reminder. See, what would I do without her? I don't know. Okay, so we're going to offer up some community prayers right now. I just, we did that for Miela, and I just figured, okay, that was done. But that's when I should have opened up the prayer. So we will open up the floor now. And if you have a community prayer, a prayer that you would like to offer, feel free to do so. You can raise your hand using the little hand feature there, or you can put it in the chat if you don't want it to be public over YouTube, because we are live streaming over YouTube. But if you'd like to speak your prayer, then feel free to do so. And when you're finished, then say blessed be, and we know you are done, and we'll go on to the next person.
Hi, I'd like to send prayers to Jennifer, Mary, Theodora, Linda, all for pain and emotional pain and physical pain. May their blessings be may they be blessed with healing and love.
Blessed be.
Hi, I'd like to ask for a prayer of good health for my grandmother. She recently went in for heart surgery, and they found out that the thing they went in for surgery for was not what the problem was. So now they have to figure out how to solve what they think the problem is. So pray for clarity and wisdom for the doctors and the cardiologist, and a prayer for healing and peace and good health for my grandmother. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Go ahead, Karina.
First, I want to send a prayer of love and thanksgiving for the protection that I got with my travels to Toronto last month when I went to go visit my family. and also love and thanksgiving for my dad's continued improvement in his health. So it looks like it was just a scare and that he's continuing to do better every day. So wanted to send love and gratitude to this community for all of your prayers, because I felt it while I was in Toronto. And I also want to send a prayer of thanksgiving to my husband, who just celebrated his birthday last 2 weeks ago. So love and thanksgiving to Steph for having another year and celebration in the future. Blessings. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Anyone else? I don't see any.
I'd like to ask a prayer of just support and holding space for my dear friend Andrea. Her oldest son passed away several years back, but just, dates and anniversaries being what they are, there were a lot of difficult days in May of that year. And so she's preparing to get through May. So sending her love and support. And community is important, and hoping that she has all the community that she needs. And I'm honored to be a part of it. So blessed be. And another prayer of gratitude for this community and all that it does for me. So thank you, Gaia's Temple. Blessed be. Mwah.
Anyone else have any prayers they'd like to offer up? I know there were a few in the chat, and so may all of our prayers, spoken and unspoken, be heard and answered. Blessed be. All right, so now I'd like to thank all the people. Thank you all for meeting me here today, and thank you to these people in particular, to Mari Budlong, who does such a fantastic job wrangling all of our tech. Thank you so much, Mari. And also to our talent today, to Oriel for singing, Oriel Lighton for singing in and out our elements, to Noemi Chaparro for reading our invocation today, and to the beautiful Gina Salah for your gorgeous music and your beautiful presence in our temple. Thank you so very much. So I'd like to end with this closing thought before we release the directions and sing our final song. It's by that prolific author Unknown, and it goes like this. Our days are happier when we give someone a bit of our heart rather than a piece of our mind. Blessed be. All right, Oriel, take it away and we'll release the directions.
Okay. So, can you hear me, Judith? Just give me a,
Yes.
Okay, good, perfect. To the earth in the north. Go if you must, stay if you will, within or without, we remain with you still. To the water in the west. Go if you must, stay if you will, within or without, we remain with you still. To the fire in the south. Go if you must, stay if you will, within or without, we remain with you still. To the air in the east. Go if you must, stay if you will, within or without, we remain with you still. And to the spirit in the center. Go if you must, stay if you will, Within or without, we remain with you still. Blessed be.
Thank you, Oreo. Blessed be. All right, so hope you'll stay for fellowship. And Mari, go ahead and put that last song up on the slide so we can all read and sing along. We'll all stay muted though, so we only hear my voice, but do sing with me. The circle is open and unbroken. May the love of the goddess go in our hearts. Merry meet and merry part, and merry meet again. Blessed be, blessed be, blessed be. Thank you so much.